Yoski. So, you see the title of this video, man. This topic right here, bro, man, I want to talk about this one. I ain't gonna lie, I want to talk about this one, bro, because, it be a lot of shit talked about Forex, man. It be a lot of people talking bad about Forex shit. But, this is how I got scammed trying to trade Forex, man. So, so how I even got introduced the same way most people get introduced. You get a DM from somebody, promising this gonna happen, saying this and that gonna happen. They get you on the call, tell you about paying this, paying that, whatever. So backstory. At the time I got this call, right, I had just moved to Alaska. Now, how I got to Alaska, my uncle, he got some home healthcare companies out there. And he always tell me and my cousin, his son, man, y'all got to get out of Louisiana, bro. Like, y'all got to experience other shit. There's so much shit out here in this world that if you stay in Louisiana around your family and around the ways you grew up, you're going to stay down there forever. So he brung us out there and we went to go work for his companies. He wasn't even there, really. He actually gave us the keys to the company, low key. We was making executive decisions, sending people home from work, a lot of stuff like that. So I say that to say, while I was working, most of the shifts me and my cousin worked, we worked together. So we would just sit in the house. They had the people up in there. It was a home health care. And they were independent in a way, but they were dependent in a way. A lot of them had like fetal alcohol syndrome. They had schizophrenia, stuff like that. So you had to give them their medicine. And some of them had like the mind state and the mindset of like 11, 12-year-olds, whatever the case like that. And you had to tend to them at some point, but most of the time they would just watch TV and chill and kick it all day. Some of them had even little jobs. They'll go work for like 4 hours a day, but they'll come back to the house. So you just had to, make them lunch and dinner. Breakfast they made whatever they want, and lunch usually was something simple. But anyway, so we had to do that for them, and most of our shifts were together, so we had a lot of downtime. Most of the time we just chilled. I beat so many video games. I watched so many series out there. My cousin was in school, so his free time was usually, doing schoolwork and shit like that. So as I'm here so long, bro, I'm like, bro, I got to be doing something, man. This man doing homework and stuff. I'm just like, you feel it. Like, man, there's so much other stuff I can be doing, bro. I'm out here just playing the game every day. And so I had the money in my pocket. Wasn't doing nothing. We not going out. We in Alaska. It's so cold out here. They got moose. Like, man, we don't know nobody. So I'm like, man, I got the money. Let me see what this dude talking about, bro. Why not? Words that could happen, the money gone. I already was thinking in my head as soon as I did it, the money was gone, but I wasn't doing that. Let me try to look at these charts and trading, because, I went on the call and they talked about that. So went ahead and did it, man. And I just started hitting the ground heavy. And I didn't make no type of money probably for the first 2.5, 3 months, but I'm just still trying to learn this. I'm dedicated to learning. I'm like, man, I'm not even worried about it, bro. So I'm just learning, watching all these videos they give you, all these assignments they give you, just doing this 24/7. 24/7 is the only thing I'm doing all day long. I'm talking about they had trainings, like the people would host trainings. We in Alaska, we 3 hours behind. So they trainings would start at 7 a.m. So I would have to set an alarm at 4 a.m. to get up and be inside the training. So, but I'm watching videos all day, trying to study this shit all day. I'm not going to sleep till like 1, 2 a.m. So I'm sleeping for like 2 hours, literally just doing this shit the whole time. So I'm just listening to what they telling me, They're telling me about motivation. They're telling me about, higher power. They're telling me about how to talk to people. They're telling me how to treat people. They're telling me just, do this, do that. Eventually, bro, I made like $1,000 in like one day. I'm like, man, what the hell? So I'm like, okay, cool. Now, as you know what Forex is. They try to get people to get on and whoop around like that. So, I had some type of, common sense. I'm like, man, I'm not going to tell nobody about this shit until I make some money from it. So then, you know, I started getting people on. People started making money with me. You dig what I'm saying? But, you know, people wasn't as motivated as I was. So, you know, if people did lose money, because, you know, at the end of the day, it's trading. You don't know everything gonna happen. Shit, man, you know, people just kind of fell off type shit, bro. And, you know, it happened or whatever like that. But, you know, I kept it going, man. I kept it going. And, you know, I started making like $1,000 a day for like every 3-4 days. Like at one point I had made like 10 racks in like 2 weeks, bro, just doing that shit. And so, but I noticed like, bro, the people around me, they just wasn't into it as much as I was. I'm like, bro, how is y'all not into this shit and doing this shit as deep as I am, bro? Look at this money that's being made. But what I realized, bro, is that they wasn't taking this shit as serious as me. They wasn't learning. They didn't put in the hard work. I didn't realize that all them months of me losing money and trying to figure this shit out, that shit meant something. Now, the way I made money was super easy. I got somebody would send me a text to my phone. I put in some numbers and I made the money. So all the work I was really doing, technically, if you look at it, it was for nothing. Just reading over it. I put in so many hours of work just to make money when somebody texts me. If that's the case, I could have waited till I got the text and made money. But I didn't realize that shit was really, you know, was doing some psychological work inside of me. And I didn't understand that at the time. So, you know, eventually, bro, I had one account I would trade with, and I think I had like $1,000 in an account. And basically, every time I traded, I just doubled that account. But I fucked around and went to sleep, man. I went to sleep and my whole account, I lost that bit. I didn't do this thing called the stop loss. It pull you out of trade before you lose X amount of dollars. But, you know, I started getting so nice at it. I would just hop in the trade, and then once I knew it would go up, I would just make a certain amount of money. Or if I saw it got too low, I'd just fuck around and pull out. And if I got the amount of money that I wanted to make, I just pull out the trade too, kind of on both sides of it. But I went to sleep. So normally whenever I would either pull out by myself or that stop loss that it hit, you could type in a number. And once you get to that number, it pull you out. I didn't have that. So the shit just kept going down and I lost the whole account. And I just didn't want to put no money into it, bro. And I ended up just going back to my 9-to-5 job. At that point, I think I was the only person trading. I had about 20-some people trading with me at one point, but eventually, just one by one, they kind of just dropped out with me. And I didn't realize that at the time, but bro, what I realized though is that shit really taught me a whole lot, bro. Not just about the trade and the money. That shit, none of that, bro. I'm talking about the training and all of that I was putting in. Because even as I was making money, I'm still getting on these trainings every single day. And a lot of the trainings they had, bro, they was not about, I still listen to some of them today. They was not about this trading and trying to get people on. And that's what a lot of people didn't get. See, a lot of my people, my friends and people around me and people that talk about it, they didn't realize, bro, that the amount of self-development these people pushed in you, like, they push this shit so hard in you, bro, that, you know, you could, like I always say this, you could go sell rocks on the side of the road after getting on the call with them, and you gonna make something out of nothing, bro. Like, with my people, they wasn't dedicated to this shit like I was. They didn't understand that. And, like, I hated that because, like, man, people didn't see what this shit really do for you, bro. I wanted my people to see, bro, like, this shit is developing in you a type of person that you want to become for real. But people just was so enticed by getting people on and the amount of money you can get, because you can make a lot of money just by putting people on. So, and I think too, the downfall of that shit was the fact that so many people was enticed by the putting people on money that people didn't do all the extra steps, you know, everything that came with it. They wanted to hit the home run without going to practice, you know, without having to practice swings, without attempting to get to first base, second base, you know, doing all the small things, you feel me? Taking the small steps to success, failing their way to success. People didn't want to do that. And so, you know, a lot of that too is people just getting in and people getting in with the wrong folks, man. You know, and people not having the right intentions with that shit, because with that shit, you know, anybody could get into that shit. They wanted anybody to get into their shit. Their philosophy was that they can change somebody who thinks one way into thinking another way. But you know, that shit was not for the weak-minded, man. And, you know, I hated that shit, bro. I hated that shit. That shit also taught me a lot of confidence, bro, because, listen, a lot of people talked bad about that shit, man. A lot of people talked bad about that shit, bro. And the fact that I was still on there enforcing that shit, posting about that shit, talking about that shit, as people was directly talking bad and down about that shit, bro. I had never done nothing like that in my life, bro. It's like you literally got a dream you chasing, and people see you chasing your dream, and people literally will still talk down and talk bad about it. And that was directly, like, I'm seeing this shit. Every time I talk to somebody, they didn't want to hear it. They talk bad about it every time, but I'm still enforcing that shit. Still enforcing that shit. Still going hard with that shit, bro. That's the first time I ever felt some, like, real, like, man, this shit really a challenge, bro. Like, man, they gonna have people that's gonna try to downplay you regardless of what you're doing, man. And you got to realize you got to have a certain level of confidence in yourself and your ability and what shit does for you to say, man, fuck with it. Fuck what you talking about, bro. That's why that self-development part of that shit was so big. If you didn't do that, then the first time you heard somebody talk bad about it, you either didn't want to join or you didn't give 100%, or you didn't want to talk about it. You didn't want your friend. Man, I didn't give a fuck. When I say I turned my whole Instagram into that shit, bro, like, I flipped my whole profile of that, like my whole bio, everything about it. I was so dedicated to making that shit work, man. And people got to realize, bro, like, I could have been dedicating myself to fucking selling whiteboards and erase markers every day. It didn't matter what I was selling, bro, what they wanted me to do. Bro, I was self-developing, and I didn't care. I was doing that shit, man. I was getting better and better every single fucking day, dog. And like I said, I just hate that people just didn't get that from that, man, because of how other people are and what other people try to use that shit as, man. And that shit also made me realize, bro, everybody not going to be on the same type of time as you at the same time that you own something. You might be on this powerful, motivational, trying to get the bag type of time. You might have a friend that's on it. He just want to fuck off. He ain't about that. He ain't really fucking with that. He want to do this, that, and the third. Yeah, I know that's true. I know, bro. I know you're going to get a person that's going to say, oh, yeah, I know about that. I know about that. I know about that. But they don't really want to put in the work that you're doing, because you know about this shit, motivational and getting to the bag shit too. But as you start doing it, you realize, damn, it's a lot of little steps I got to do in order to make this shit happen. And you might have a friend that just simply might not be on that, and that's cool. That's cool. You just gotta come to the realization of that and understand you your own person and they their own person, no matter how much you want them to succeed with you and grow with you, bro. We not on that together. And then what it does is make you appreciate people that are on that time with you, bro. You start growing relationships with people you might have never talked to. A lot of these people in these groups I wasn't cool with. I knew of them. I knew them just through Instagram and through mutual people and seeing them around and shit. But I didn't fuck with them like that. Like, I probably would never even talk to these people, bro, if it wasn't for this. And a lot of these people I don't really talk to as much, but whenever we was going through stuff, we was going through the same types of problems at the same types of times, and I could relate to them more sometimes than I could relate to my friends that I knew since little. You feel me? And it just help you. It's okay. It make you be okay with that, bro. That's fine. Everybody not gonna be on the same type of time as you at the same type of time, but that don't mean you gotta throw them away. Oh, you tripping, you this, you that. Nah, it's okay. Eventually you'll see. Eventually you'll see it, and when you see, you gonna thank me and realize, like, damn, bro, you was on that, bro. I should have just listened to you. And they're gonna appreciate you for that. And what's gonna make them appreciate you more is that you didn't judge them for not being on that same time as you. Even though you knew they should have been, even though you knew the consequences of not being on this time, and you had to let them go burn their hand, they're gonna appreciate you for still being there with them. You feel me? Still being yourself with them. Still taking them in, bro. And so, bro, that's how that shit just scammed me. That's how I got scammed in Forex, bro. I went in that shit thinking I was finna make X amount of dollars. You know what I mean? I gained so much more than that, bro. And that just go to show, bro, it don't have to just be Forex, man. It could be anything, bro. It could be anything, bro. That's why, like, fitness is booming right now. This is why this self-development is booming right now. This is why this talking to girls and being the best version of yourself is booming. All this stuff really is self-development and growing yourself and having confidence, bro. You dig what I'm saying? This is why starting a business is booming right now, because to succeed in business, you got to have a certain level of confidence. You got to be able to, be confident in your decision-making skills, be confident in your ability to get a job done, be confident in your ability to lead people. You know what I mean? So, yeah, bro. That's pretty much that, bro. Stay up, stay blessed, Go make something out yourself, man, because you deserve it for you, bro. Fuck anybody else and what anybody else got to say about you. Go and get to your money, man, and go and get the life you want, bro. You'll get it. Through him, you'll conquer the world. I promise you.
Ain't nobody gon' give me nothing, I had to learn it. And everything I got came from nothing, I had to earn it. Try to check me out my spot, bitch, you button, bitch, you get told tag. I got shooters and I send them where your door at. I got Tony on my side and he gon' permit the scene. And Lil Freddy right beside me, he just copped the money.